What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including your money, inflation, and we have new reports here coming out here, and this will affect everybody on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and everybody underneath the Social Security umbrella, the survivors, VA, RRB, and this will affect the COLA raise for next year, 2023, because that is calculated here on the third quarter of this year, which is July numbers, August numbers, and September numbers. And the July numbers are in here now. And we have a little bit of good news. Inflation has actually come down a little bit. Let me give you the details here, and we'll hear from the president here as well. Okay, so number one, inflation moderates in July as the CPI rises at a less than expected 8.5%. This is actually not the number that is used to calculate COLA, cost of living adjustment for Social Security. I'll give you that here in a second. But remember that last month's inflation numbers were 9.1%. So inflation has actually gone down. We actually have, you'll hear the president say what he says about inflation here, but inflation has actually gone down from last month. Now, granted, inflation is still not great. This is still over a 30-year high right now. So inflation's still not good. We are seeing inflation come down a little bit. And a lot of this is because gas prices, you can see this headline here from the New York Times here this morning. Gas prices have fallen for 57 straight days in a row in the US here today. You can see here the AAA national average gas prices, $4.01 are the national average gas prices. If you're from California, well, that's a different story. Your gas prices are, my wife said, no bueno, 539, 539. But a month ago was 609. So that's 40 cents cheaper in a month for California. Diesel is 626. A month ago was 681. So 60 cents cheaper in California. That's part of the reason why the average are higher in the US. Some states are higher as well, but also a lot of states are lower. We come back here to the national average here. 401. I've seen a lot of people say their gas prices are like 330. I seen someone say their state was 318. Let me know what your prices were. So you could see a year ago, gas prices were 318. I seen someone in the comment section yesterday say their gas prices were 318. So if your gas prices are 318, that's where we were a year ago. So it is good news to see that in some areas. In some areas, let me know in the comment section what your gas prices are. And of course, this can vary widely based on where you are, but the average gas prices across the country, 401. California a lot higher because they have much higher gas taxes and they have a different blend of gas to bring lower pollution there. Diesel a lot higher, over $1 higher, 509. But 401 for regular, and you can see here that's $1 lower than where we were back in June at 501. That was the highest price ever. And 581 for diesel was the highest price ever in June. So this is good news because that was ridiculous. Will we see it go down even more? And I've seen this headline here. Gasoline prices could fall to $2.99 next week. And that is a very real possibility here that next week in some places we could see gas at $2.99 a gallon in some areas. Who will be the first state or the first city to see gas at $2.99? That will be a welcome relief. Let me know in the comment section when you see gas at $2.99. Hopefully we get there. My cat's meowing in the background. My wife said, I think my cat's upset at the gas prices. Maybe she's happy that the gas prices have come down so much. Hopefully we continue to see this trend. I mean, seeing gas prices where they were a year ago is definitely a welcome relief. It's better than seeing it stay high. It's better to see them going down for 57 days in a row. It's a whole lot better than seeing them go up for 57 days in a row. But what a dramatic turnaround. What a dramatic turnaround. But you can see here, inflation eased slightly last month, but held near its highest level in 4 decades, even as gas prices fell and supply chains improved. The Bureau of Labor Statistics' latest CPI number, inflation number, reflected a year-over-year increase of 8.5% in July. But the July inflation numbers were actually down, which shows the decrease for the month. But the year-over-year number shows 8.5%, if that makes sense. You'll see here on a monthly basis, the broadest measure of inflation was unchanged. After rising 1.3% in June, it was actually at 0.0%. You'll hear the president speak about that, and they're showing this as good news, that inflation is not rising anymore. Now, as you can see here, how is COLA calculated for Social Security? COLA is calculated with the Social Security Act, specifies a formula for determining each cost of living adjustment. According to the formula, cost of living adjustments are based on the increases in the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, also known as the CPIW. So not that 8.5%. A lot of people don't know this, would see the 8.5% and think that that was the number. Also, a lot of people don't even know that it's based on the July, August, and September numbers. That's one of the reasons why you watch this channel. I keep up to date on everything and what's going on here in this country and try to give you all the truth and data and everything going on here in our country. So, as you can see here, this CPIW number that came in was 9.1%. So it's based on a different index. It's based on a different set of data. So this is 9.1%. So this is, I guess, a good news because this will go towards the first of three numbers for the cost of living adjustment for Social Security raises. Everybody underneath the Social Security umbrella, SSI, SSDI, VA, RRB, survivors, and Social Security. Everybody underneath the Social Security umbrella. As you can see here, the latest 2022 inflation update and the first month used in the 2023 COLA calculation, COLA stands for Cost of Living Adjustment Calculation, are now official. Here are the results. 9.1%. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan senior group, now estimates the senior Social Security benefits may increase 9.6% based on Consumer Price Index released Wednesday, based on what could happen with the next two inflation numbers here. So this is what could happen. I think that this might be the maximum that they're estimating could happen at 9.6%. Remember, this reading was 9.1% and is the first of three here. This would amount to an extra $159 per month for the average retiree benefit of $1,656 according to the group's calculation, which is the average amount of Social Security benefits going out right now. The Senior Citizens League's estimate is still preliminary. The Social Security Administration calculates the COLA based on these monthly numbers that comes in I will keep you up to date here on the next two numbers that come in here as well. Here is what the president has to say on these inflation numbers that have come in here today.
Today, we received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July. 0%. Here's what that means. While the price of some things went up last month, the price of other things went down by the same amount. The result, zero inflation last month, but people are still hurting, but zero inflation last month. Economists look at a measure of inflation that ignores food and energy prices, and they call it core inflation. That's about the lowest amount in several months. When you couple that with last week's booming jobs report of 528,000 jobs created last month and 3.5% unemployment, it underscores the kind of economy we've been building. We're seeing a stronger labor market where jobs are booming and Americans are working, and we're seeing some signs that inflation may be beginning to moderate. That's what happens when you build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. The wealthy do very well and everyone has a chance. It gives everyone a chance to make progress. Now I want to be clear. With the global challenges we face, from the war in Europe to disruption of supply chains and pandemic shutdowns in Asia, we could face additional headwinds in the months ahead. Our work is far from over, but two things should be clear. First, the economic plan is working, and second is building an economy that will reward work. Wages are up this month, provide opportunity, help the middle class, and still have work to do, but we're on track. The second point I want to make is we need to pass the Inflation Reduction Act right away. That's the most consequential thing that Congress can do to keep our progress on inflation from getting better, from getting worse, keep it moving in the right direction. And it will bring down the cost of prescription drugs, health insurance premiums, and energy costs. It's going to make big corporations just pay their fair share, nothing more than their fair share. It's going to reduce the deficit without raising a penny in taxes on people making under $400,000 a year. But it's far from done in our effort to bring inflation down, but we're moving in the right direction. So some good economic news today and some work ahead.
So this graph here actually shows where we are in inflation numbers right now. 2022, well, 2022 was, this is the 5.9%. The 2022 with the 9% actually would be right about here with the, so this was the 5.9% for 2022. The 9.1% that we would have got would have been right about here. That's not on here. This gives you an idea of where we are in history compared to the last 40 or so years. And you can see here, kind of gives you an idea based on where we have been previously. The stock market surged today as investors cheer the lower inflation numbers, showing that maybe inflation has topped and we won't continue to see inflation go up. That the 9.1% of the, remember that not the CPIW, but the base inflation number CPI was 9.1% last month, and then now it's gone down to 8.5% for last month here in July. We do have some really bad news here, though. The grocery prices increased 13.1% in July. Wow. That is terrible. So as we've seen gas prices go down, food prices are terrible. Wow. That is just a crushing blow to Americans. Grocery prices increased 13.1% in July. Whew. Unbelievable. Despite inflation cooling down a bit in July, up 8.5%, Americans are still paying significantly more for food. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics July numbers, the cost of food rose 10.9%, with food in the at-home category rising 13.1% higher than the year-over-year rise in recent months. Wow, that's the highest increase since May of 1979. But for the food at home category, it's the highest since March of 1979. Wow. The products that led the spike were cereal and bakery products at 15%, flour and prepared flour mixes up 22.7%, dairy and related products up 14.9%, and milk up 15.6%. Wow. Meanwhile, meats and poultry, fish, and eggs up 10.9%, and eggs up 38% compared to a year ago. Wow. Well, meanwhile, the stock market had a major reaction here today. The Dow Jones up almost 500 points at time of filming here. And you can see here for a 1 month chart here, this is the highest the Dow Jones index has been in 1 month. So it's at a 1 month high. Dow Jones up almost 500 points. The NASDAQ is also at a 1 month high, up almost 2.5% here today. The S&P 500 of the top 500 companies here in the United States up almost 2% here as well, also at a 1 month high. So it looks, as least at for now, we did hit the bottom of the stock market, and maybe we also hit the top of inflation. So inflation might be coming down, at least in some categories. Maybe we didn't see the top of food inflation yet, but we may have hit the bottom of the stock market as well. And stocks are at a 1 month high here as well and look to be soaring for now. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Hopefully inflation comes down and we don't continue to see this for a long, long time. I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. Make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on new videos, and click on the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live. It's completely free to do so. Don't forget to hit the like button for us down below as well. I'll keep you up to date here with everything you need to know about here on a daily basis. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and you can click here to see stimulus checks that are going out to millions of people this month. And I'll keep you up to date here with everything in our country. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.